Don't invest, you cost yourself $18,241.
Now, before we dive in, just a quick reminder. This video is for informational and entertainment purposes only, and should not be considered financial advice. Our full disclaimer is shown here and on our website. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of us reacting to additional TikToks. So today we're going to be looking at a few motivational TikToks as well as some finance TikToks. So let's dive right into some videos. So this first video is .m0tivers. So let's see what he has to say about motivational building.
Someone has to be the one to break the cycle in your family. Why not you?
So this is actually a very important point that he brings up. One of the things that sometimes limits ourselves and our family is the success of our predecessors. So sometimes we'll see like our parents and the things that they've done in their lives and look to mimic it. But that doesn't mean that your success should be defined by their success, because your success is your own journey and something that you need to take a hold of and build yourself. So sometimes the success that you want to achieve in life will sometimes exceed theirs. So continue to pursue your goals and far exceed the goals of your predecessors. So let's move on to the next one. So this next video is from a creator called Isaiah Solter X. So let's see what he has to say about motivational speaking.
If you couldn't do it or you weren't capable, it would not be on your heart to do. Remember that. If you could not do it or you weren't capable, it would not be on your heart to do.
So he brings up a great point. If you could not do it, then why would you actually be here on your journey? So essentially what he's saying is, if you have the ability to actually think about pursuing something, don't give up halfway. Because the worst thing you can do is try to not pursue something that you're passionate about and maybe even have the ability to do. The worst thing you can do is allow others to put you down and say, hey, it's not worth doing that, or you don't have the ability to do it. What you really need to do is ask yourself and think about, hey, do I have the credentials? Do I have the ability to do it? And even if I don't, how can I go out there and pursue it? Either by looking for mentors, looking for literature. There's so much out there, so much information out there, that you don't need to limit yourself to what people in the past used to do. So go out there and continue to achieve your best self. This next one is from a creator called elegant_jerk5. So let's see what he has to say about gambling winnings.
This is a really good question. If you hitting prize picks every month for $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 consistently, and you can show 3 to 6 months of consistent deposits going into your checking account, there's a bank out there that's going to take a chance on you. Now, obviously, if you got good credit, the bank not going to ask for proof of income anyway, so this won't even matter. But if you right on that line where you're going to have to show proof of income, if you can show consistently that you are making at least 3, 4, 5 grand consistently from one of the gambling apps, there's a bank that will take a chance on you.
So he brings up something that's very critical in this day and age. What is defined as income, at least in the eyes of a loan officer or someone who will be, giving you a mortgage or a personal loan or even a car loan? What a loan officer is going to look for when they think about income. The first thing is going to be how you reported it on your taxes. So if you have, let's say, a gambling winnings, just like he mentioned here, or prizes, they're going to see how much of your gambling winnings do you actually have. In most cases, for you to be considered a gambler by profession, you actually have to have more gambling winnings than gambling losses and show consistency in gambling winnings versus gambling losses. This is true of many other professions, such as being a stock trader. A stock trader usually is the same terminology. If you want to be proven that you're a day trader, you actually have to show consistent gains and profits daily, monthly, or however you consistently do it. But there has to be some form of consistency before a bank or a loan officer will even consider you for any kind of loan. And the other thing is, in most cases, you actually have to have 2 years worth of income to show that this income will even qualify. This doesn't even just qualify for gambling and income through stock trading. This actually also qualifies for any rental income as well, where you actually have to show 2 years of income before those are even looked at for any loans or any other types of items of credit. So let's move on to the next video now. Hello everyone, my name is Anthony and I'm the host of the Log Sanctuary. I hope you've been enjoying our content so far, and if you have, please feel free to like and subscribe. Also, we have our website up here, and we also have some socials down here, and as always, leave your comments down below. So this next video is from Humphrey Talks. So let's see what he has to say about investing.
Don't invest, you cost yourself $18,241. This happens when you wait 10 years to start investing, while say a friend of yours starts at 25 and invests $100 per month and keeps doing so until retirement. Your friend will have $324K while you end up with $141K by age 65. So the cost of waiting is over $18,000 per year at $100 a month invested, but what about at other amounts invested? At $200 a month, 1 year of not investing will cost you $36,483, and at $500 a month, every year you don't invest could cost you upwards of $91,000. So there's no better time than today to start investing. If you like videos on personal finance, make sure to follow me for more.
So he brought up a really amazing point, which is effectively the compound interest. So essentially, every time you invest, every year you're in the market, that builds not just the gains in that current year, but it also builds future gains. Because as you get more gains within a current year, those will be carried over to the next year and continue to compound. So essentially what he's saying is, as you have 8 to 12% return, which is the average of, if you invested like in the S&P 500, for example, you yourself are actually going to be losing on these gains if you decide to invest later. So even if you say have like $10, $50, whatever you have, invest it, especially if the route you're going to take is to invest in the stock market. The worst you can do is wait for your money to grow, let's say under your mattress or in a bank, and not have it invested, because what that's actually going to do is actually going to make your money depreciate in value due to inflation and just items just going up naturally overall. So let's dive right into the next one now. So this next content creator is called Patagon IA Vest Advisor. So let's see what he has to say about compound versus discount rates.
Compound versus discount interest. With compound interest, you earn interest on your interest, which means time is your biggest asset. So as you can see here, it's very slow growth, but you're going to get your biggest gains in the shaded area here. Now, this is also used to calculate future value. So if I invest $28,000 now, and I want to find how long it's going to take to get $400,000, I would use compounding. So declining interest is the exact opposite of compounding, and although people don't use this to invest with, obviously, it's used to calculate the present value. So let's say I wanted to go on vacation, and it was $10,000. I can work backwards using declining interest to find what my principal amount would be, or my present value, which let's just say that was $2,000. So if they give me a rate of 4.5% return, I can then calculate how much time it's going to take me to go on a vacation by a month. If you want to see more videos like this, hit that follow button and let me know in the comments. Compound.
So he's completely right on the concept. So basically, compound interest is you start off with a base value, let's say $10,000, and then you have a certain rate of return every year. So a certain rate of return could be 10%, and then you would see, let's say you want to get 500,000. In order to actually get 500,000 in X amount of years, you would actually use a formula that uses the compound interest. Basically, the interest that you have, the amount of years that you're going to be investing in, and the base amount that you're going to be investing every year. So there's actually a lot of financial calculators that you can use to actually calculate that for you, so you don't have to do too much math out there. So the second thing is the present value dollar that he mentioned. That one, what he mentioned is that correct. Let's say he is going to go on vacation in roughly, let's say 5 years, and he has 2,000 right now. How much interest does he need to actually get to that 10,000 point? But actually, the present value of the discount rate is not used similar to the compound interest methodology. Actually, the present value formula is more used to understand what was the value of my money at a certain rate. So essentially, those $10,000 4 or 5 years ago, if we use, let's say, 10%, was only worth $2,000 in his example. So that's just an very simple example of like, hey, how much is my money, the present money that I have worth now, compared to back then. So basically, it's just to show how much our dollar has deteriorated over time. So a vacation that was maybe $2,000 a couple of years ago is now probably $10,000. So let's dive right into the next one and let's see what our next content creator has to say. So our next content creator is called Basic Financial Literacy. So this content creator is going to talk a little bit about subscriptions that are required in your day-to-day and will help you throughout your journey. So let's see what he has to say about these subscriptions.
That are 100% worth the money and then some. And no, none of these services paid me, just things that I find extremely valuable that I would gladly shell out extra dough for. Number one is Planet Fitness. It's $25 a month. It's got every piece of workout equipment I need. I can work out anywhere in the country when I travel. If my house ever gets hit by a meteor, I always got a place to shower. Number two is a cleaning service for our house. I know what you're gonna say, only rich people can afford that. And while I wouldn't call it cheap, it's $360 a month for them to clean our 2,300 square foot house twice a month. And it gives my wife and I 5 to 6 hours a month back on weekends where we can do things we actually enjoy, like going to a Caps game or hiking in Shenandoah National Park. And finally, I don't know why everybody that travels doesn't have TSA pre-check. It's $85 every 5 years. I breeze right through security every time at the airport. And the best part, I don't have to take my shoes off. Let me know what subscription services are worth it to you, and give me a follow if you want more financial content like this. These are 3 subscriptions.
Alrighty, so let's go through each subscription that he mentioned. The first one is Planet Fitness, which, funny enough, I'm a member of. I would say that is a very important subscription to have because it actually should hopefully motivate you to go to the gym and help you keep you physically fit. And it's important to be physically fit because your body is a essence what controls your mind. As your body is more fit, then your mind becomes more fit. So that's important in that regard. Okay, so the second item that he mentioned, which was the cleaners. So cleaning is actually something that sometimes takes you, just like he mentioned, depending on your size of your house, it could take you a couple of hours to do your cleaning. So if you have the budget to do cleaning, it does make it easier for you to spend time on other items. When does it become important to actually have this extra time? I would say it's important to have this extra time when those 5 or 6 hours could be dedicated to either activities that you find enjoyable, just like he has here, or the second item would be if you have activities that would generate you more income instead of you having to actually work those 5 or 6 hours. So for example, if you're a consultant who can now squeeze 5 or 6 more hours of clients, that's going to probably generate you a lot more than the $360 that you're going to be spending on cleaning services. So it's kind of like an opportunity cost to understand like, hey, if I'm not cleaning, then I can generate some income. Now, the third one is a TSA pre-check. This is not something that I personally have, but it is something that a lot of my friends do have, where they do mention that they save hours on, going through security. They don't have to, spend as much time. They don't get checked as much. And also, just like you said, you don't got to take off your shoes and your belt and all that fun stuff. So overall, it is a very convenient thing. And for the low price of $85, it does save you a lot of time if you are a big traveler. I myself don't travel much, but if I did travel a lot, PSA pre-check would probably be one of my favorite things to have. Now, now that we're here, how about I give you some of the subscriptions that I actually use quite a bit. So one of the things that I use myself more for convenience is actually my Amazon Prime membership. And the reason for that is because the Amazon Prime membership actually has a few features that, will help you. The first thing is it actually gives you discounts on Grubhub. You get, quicker delivery. And the third thing, it also gives you access to Prime Video. Oh, and one more feature, if you don't love watching Twitch, you also get 1 free Prime subscription that you can use on that as well. So overall, a lot of great value for if you use your Amazon Prime. The next subscription that I use quite heavily is, funny enough, Netflix. That's another one that I use quite heavily. And the main reason that I use this one is because there's a lot of shows on there that you can utilize. There's a lot of anime on there, which I enjoy, and also lots of great movies. And usually Netflix is one of the streaming services that actually gets things a lot earlier than the other ones. So overall, another great subscription to use. So yeah, those are two of the ones that I use the most heavily. And yeah, hopefully that help you, garner some more, subscriptions that you can add to your selection. Alrighty, everyone. And that's going to conclude our Reactionary TikTok episode 7. I hope everyone out there has a blessed day, and adios. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing an amazing job, and I'm wishing everyone out there all the best. All right, until next time, adios.